Journal Studies Paper 1 Solved Paper. Question number 1. The rock cut architecture represent one of the most important source of our knowledge of early Indian art and history. Discuss in 150 word. Answer. The practice of creating a structure by carving it out of a natural rock is known as rock cut architecture. In this, the unwanted rock material is removed out of structure to give it a desired shape. Heading: Source of knowledge of earlier Indian art. First, prehistoric rock art. Heading: in that heading, the wall of many caves of this time are full of finely carved and painted pictures of animals which the cave dwellers hunted. Example: Bhimbetka cave. Second, Mauryan phase. During the Mauryan phase, the rock cut caves were used as viharas which are residential quarters for the Jain and Buddhist monks. Rock cut pillars depicts prevalence of high degree of skills in form of lion elephant figures. Sculptures of this period shows the figure of yaksh and yakshinis. Example: rock cut architecture in the Barbar and Nagarjuni hills, lion capital and the lion capital of Ashoka, etc. A post-Mauryan phase. The rock cut caves of post-Mauryan phase consist of viharas and chaitis rectangular prayer halls. For the monks, these caves consist of figures of animals such as elephants, images of Buddha, pillars and intricate carving. Example: Karle caves in Maharashtra. Temple architecture. The temple architecture consists of wall decorations and work of art. The images of Hindu gods and goddesses have been intricately carved from rock in these temples. Example: Bhaja caves, Karla caves and Kanhari caves, monolithic Kailash temple, etc. Source of Indian history. Life of Mesolithic age. The painting in the caves of Bhimbetka shows the hunting scene which represent the socio-economic life of the Mesolithic age. Point 2. Court art of Ashoka. The white-grey sandstone column erected by Ashoka all over his empire to mark the site associated with Buddha's life or for propagating the message of Dhamma to his people. Third point, Gupta period. During this period, Hindu temples were constructed by kings. The images of Lord Vishnu and his incarnations have been found in many caves. Example: Varaha incarnation in Udaygiri caves. Fourth point, monolithic rock cut temples. The architecture of the Pallav dynasty initiated rock carving to create monolithic structures that resemble temples. Example: the Panch Rath or Pandava Rath of Mahabalipuram. Fifth point, religious life. The first phase of excavation in Western India was related exclusively to early Buddhism, which meant the worship of the Buddha represented symbolically the depiction of Jataka story through painting can be found at Ellora and Ajanta cave. And next point is economic life. Economic life relics found in these caves suggest a connection between the religious and the commercial life. Buddhist missionaries are known to have accompanied traders on the busy international trading routes through India. The rock Thus, rock cut architecture has been source of ancient art and history. These ancient and medieval structure represents significant achievements of structural engineering and craftsmanship. Uh, Question number two. Pala period is the most significant phase in the history of Buddhism in India. Enumerate. Answer. Eastern India had become the last refuge of the decaying Buddhism in India during the Pala reign, uh, in bracket 750 to 1175 AD. Dot. Most of the Pala kings were Mahayana Buddhist, and their official seals bear the symbol of Dharmachakra. Heading. Significance of Pala period in Buddhism. Point 1. Changes in Mahayana Buddhism. The Pala period witnessed drastic changes in the cult of Mahayana Buddhism. Occult doctrine, miracles, tantra, and mantra had overshadowed logic and rationalistic ideas. Second point. Establishment of monasteries. Pala ruler Gopal was the staunch Buddhist who had built the famous monastery at Odantapuri. Dharmapala established the Vikramshila monastery and Sompura Mahavihar. Devpala was also a patron of Nalanda monastery. Next point. Evolution of Tantric Buddhism. The Tantric revolution gained popular and royal support and eventually made its way into the curriculum of monastic universities. Next point. Renovation of Buddhist monuments. Revolution of Buddhist monuments. Mahipala is said to have built and renovated the Buddhist monuments of Sarnath, Bodh Gaya, Varanasi, and Nalanda. Translation of Buddhist scriptures. During the Palas, the monasteries of Bengal and Bihar were intellectually superior in the Buddhist world. Buddhist ascetics and other came from Tibet, Kashmir, and elsewhere to India and composed many works, copied and translated Buddhist scriptures at these monasteries. Next point. Demise of Buddhism in India. With the collapse of Pala dynasty in the 12th century, Buddhism had no social base and the religious practices were confined within the sanghas and not in common households. Next point. Loss of patronage. Huge monastic establishments like Nalanda, Vikramshila were depend on endowment from kings, merchants, and rich people. When this patronage was no more, these establishments ceased to exist. Buddhist monks gradually mingled with general masses and lost their identity. Buddhism during the Pala age had undergone massive transformation, but the form of Buddhism prevalent in the Pala period was not an original one. Rather, it was an assimilation of the Brahmanical cult with the original form of Buddhism. Uh, Question number 3. Evaluate the policies of Lord Curzon and their long-term implication on the national movement. Answer in 150 word. This is the question number 3. So I am going to discuss this question. Answer. Lord Curzon was India's viceroy between 1899 and 1905. He was one of the most controversial and consequential holder of that post. Curzon carried out reforms in several fields of administration with primary motives of centralizing the administration and safeguarding the British Empire in India. Though some of these measures benefited Indians as well. Heading Policies of Lord Curzon. Point 1. Calcutta Corporation Act 1899. Curzon passed the Act in 1899 to reduce the number of elected members in the corporation and virtually made it a government department. Next point, education policies. In 1901, Curzon called a education conference at Shimla. After the conference, a university commission under the chairmanship of Thomas Rayleigh was appointed in 1902. Next point, Indian Universities Act 1904. On the recommendation of University Commission under Thomas Rayleigh, Curzon passed the Indian University Act. It brought universities under the supervision of the government. Next point, Monument Act 1904. Curzon established an archaeological department for the protection of historical monuments. Next point, agriculture reforms. He established an imperial agriculture department under an inspector general. An agriculture research institute was established at Pusa, Bihar in the Bengal Presidency. Next point, partition of Bengal. In 1905, province of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha was divided into two parts, which was protested by the Indians and led to the Swadeshi movement under the guidance of S.N. Banerjee. Heading Impact of Curzon's policy. Point number 1. Rise of national sentiments. The partition of Bengal on communal lines into East and West Bengal fueled national sentiments in the country and gave rise to the extremist nationalists and extremists focused upon attaining Swaraj or self-independence rather than minor concession from the British Indian government. The step taken by Curzon triggered the first mass movement and beginning of modern politics. Next point, broadening base of national movement. The emergence of extremist group led to increased partition from the lower and middle class, which was earlier confined up to the upper class and professionals. Later groups such students, women and workers also participated in the national movement. Next point, emergence of new forms of protest. The extremist group believed in extra constitutional form of protest that included boycott, picketing, burning foreign clothes, strikes, etc. Next point, establishment of Indian universities. The boycott of foreign universities led to the establishment of Indian educational institutes. These universities later became the politics centers for opposing the oppressive British rule in the country. Next point, rise of new leaders. The debate over the Swadeshi movement led to split between moderates and extremists. Curzon reactionary policies stirred the Indian consciousness and provided impetus to the Indian nationalism, which led to the emergence of leaders like Lokmanya Tilak and Mahatma Gandhi. Curzon was a determined and industrious man. He therefore carried out a large number of reform measures. His racial attitude for Indians and intolerant behavior towards Indian political aspirations shows that he failed to understand the genuine problem and sentiments of the Indian people. Question number 4. Oh, sorry. Discuss the geophysical characteristics of circum-Pacific zone. Answer. The circum-Pacific zone is also referred to as the Ring of Fire. It is a 4 lakh kilometer horseshoe shaped chain of volcanoes extending from the southern tip of South America along the west coast of North America, east coast of Asian landmass, Japan archipelago, and southern New Zealand. This zone is characterized by frequent occurrence of volcanic eruptions and high intensity earthquakes. Heading characteristics of circum-Pacific zone. Point 1. Zone of convergent plate boundary. The ring of fire is formed due to subduction of denser oceanic tectonics plate margins beneath the lighter continental plate margin. The subduction and subsequent melting and destruction of the denser oceanic plate margin gives rise to lava and magma beneath the Earth's surface. Next point, volcanic region. Almost 80% of world volcanic eruption take place in this region, and the region is home to over 150 volcanoes, including 3 of the world's 4 most active volcanoes. Example: Mount St. Helens in the USA and Mount Fuji in Japan. Next point, deep focus earthquakes. The region in the world's most active seismic region due to the seismic energy accumulated deep inside the subducting plate margins. The zone of accumulation of earthquakes is also described as Benioff zone. Almost 80% of earthquakes of the world and 70% of high intensity earthquakes occur in the circum-Pacific region. Next point, oceanic trenches. The circum-Pacific zone is also characterized by the presence of deep oceanic trenches that run parallel to the volcanic island arcs. These trenches are formed due to convergence, collision, and subduction of denser oceanic plates below the lighter continental plates. Example: Aleutianal Trench, Mariana Trench, and Japan Trench, etc. Zone of faults and seafloor spreading. In some region of ring of fire, there are occurrence of faults and zones of sea floor spreading. The faults are characterized by earthquakes, whereas the zones of sea floor spreading are characterized by volcanic activity. Example: San Andreas Fault, East Pacific Rise, etc. The Ring of the Fire is an important region for studying the geological and physical aspect of the movements and process forming the landforms on Earth's surface. Question number 5. The process of desertification does not have climate boundaries. Justified with example. Answer. Desertification is a land degradation. Desertification is the land degradation in arid, semi-arid, and dry sub-humid areas, collectively known as dry lands, resulting from many factors including human activities and climate variations. The range and intensity of desertification has increased in some dry land areas over the past several decades, mainly on account of intensive human activities. It can be said that the process of desertification has defied natural climatic boundaries, as human activity are the major cause of the land degradation and subsequent desertification. Expansion of desert due to man-made activities. Uh, Point 1. The process of desertification in the initial stages begins from the temporary decline in soil quality. Continuous and intense human activities such as overgrazing, intensive agriculture, use of harmful chemical fertilizer lead to a permanent decline in quality of soil, vegetation, water source resources, and wildlife. It leads to the deterioration of the economic productivity of the land due to over exploitation of land resources the human being by the human begins by the human beings for fulfilling the needs and aspirations of an ever rising population. Next point, ecosystems and semi-arid and arid regions around the world appear to be undergoing processes of desertification, human caused land degradation, and in areas with low or variable rainfall known as dry lands makes them vulnerable to desertification. These dry land account for more than 40% of world's terrestrial surface area. Next point, according to the United Nations Environmental Program in bracket UNEP, comma, all regions in which the ratio of total annual precipitation of to potential evaporate evapotranspiration in bracket PET ranges from 0.05 to 0.65 should be considered vulnerable to desertification. Such regions constitute part of Northern America, Southwestern Africa, Southwestern Asia, Central Asia, Northwestern India and Pakistan, Southwestern USA and Mexico, West South America and much of Australia. These areas are home to an estimated one-sixth of the world's population. Next point, the direct causes of desertification are mainly driven by human activities. These include factors such as deforestation, overgrazing of livestock, intensive cultivation of crops, and indiscriminate use irrigation water. Other factors include natural fluctuations in climate and global warming as a result of human-caused greenhouse gas emissions. A heading example of expansion of desert. First point, India faces a growing crisis of land degradation. Nearly 30% of its land area, as much as the area of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra put together, has been degraded through deforestation, over cultivation, soil erosion and depletion of wetlands. Next point, the report of Central Arid Zone Research Institute has maintained that the Thar Desert region is spreading eastwards. Next point, the Sahara's southwards advance is the result of falling water level of a water basin in the tropical area of Sahel. Next point, the ISRO in 2016 revealed that Gujarat, Rajasthan and Delhi were among state/UT where where more than 50% of the total areas were to more than 50% of total areas was degraded land, and those under the threat of desertification. Thus, it is justified through the above causes and example of desertification that this process does not have climatic boundaries. Thank you. Here I have completed a 5 question and answer of GS General Studies, and I will continue this thing in my videos. Thank you.